Welcome back to the show. You're watching NHL Now. Time now for the latest Super 16 presented by New Amsterdam Vodka. Here is a look at the latest NHL power rankings according to NHL.com.
Yeah, it's a compilation of all their great writers over there. They put the list together. And,
they've got
Panthers won, makes some sense. Hurricanes. I mean, you know, you got the. I think the Penguins could be higher on that total compilation list.
All right.
But, you know, maybe we need a representative from NHL.com.
I think we do. Let's bring in Dan Rosen, our good friend Dan Rosen. Happy New Year. I don't think I've seen you since we entered 2022, and I think it's never too late to say that.
Yeah.
So Happy New Year to you, sir. Let's take a look at your version of these rankings, because as we said, the ones on NHL.com are a compilation. So here's what Dan has for 16 through 9. D-Rose, take it away.
Yeah, so let's go right there. 16, the Calgary Flames. I almost bumped them out, but honestly, I just don't love Edmonton, and I'm not sold on San Jose. So Calgary stays in, but I did not like what I saw from them in the 3 games they played against the teams that are my top 3. They really didn't play well against Carolina, Florida, or Tampa Bay. A lot to learn from that from Calgary. So we'll see. I got the Kings in there. Look, they're 8-3-1 in their last 12 games. They're playing well. Anaheim, 2-4-2 in their last 8, so struggling a little bit. Their goals for at 5-on-5 have really dipped. That's been a problem for them. Their 5-on-5 offense has struggled because their power play remains pretty good. The Boston Bruins, Brad Marchand's rolling. Tuukka Rask is back. Got to like where Boston is. I dropped Washington significantly, 0-2-2 in their last 4. Goaltending problems, I think, there in Washington. I think they're a team that should be looking for an upgrade just simply for this season. There's Vegas, obviously, in there, Minnesota, and the New York Rangers at 9.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I think the Kings could be ahead of the Ducks right now based on their play recently, so that's one I would have. And I think you're on it with the Caps. It's been kind of a little bit of a struggle lately for them, so not so bad.
You kind of agree here. I'm a little
EJ is very
concerned.
relaxed for this point.
Well, this is when we get to the when we get to the top 8 is when we we really see
the claws come out.
That's when we really see the problems. That's
all right.
We really see the
listen, that's where the spicy stuff is. So let's get to it.
All right.
Let's see who you got.
All right, so you see the St. Louis Blues are right there. Jordan Kyrie's been awesome. 11 points in the last 5 games, 9-2-2 since December 4th. And I know EJ's going to be like, well, why aren't they higher? Well, there's the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they're rolling right now. And Evgeny Malkin's back and playing great. Tristan Jarry has been fantastic. Well, why aren't they higher, right, EJ? Well, the Nashville Predators are 12-1-1 in their last 14 games. They're playing well. By the way, find a way to keep Philip Forsberg, whether you re-sign him or you just keep him as your own rental. This is a contending team. Why aren't they higher, right? Well, Colorado. And I know they just lost 5-4 to Nashville. I get that. It was overtime. Questionable if that was a too many men on the ice penalty. I just love the Avalanche, the way they play, the offense. Cale Makar is that good. I think over the long term, Colorado's a better team than Nashville. They do need to address their goaltending as well. I don't quite believe yet in Darcy Kemper. The Toronto Maple Leafs are right there. Austin Matthews, 9 straight road games with a goal. That's a Leafs record. And then you see Carolina, Florida, and Tampa. And honestly, you can go any which way with these 3 teams. He's just going to look at me and go, well, you just love Tampa. That's why they're number 1. I get that. They're the best team in the National Hockey League. They remain the best team in the National Hockey League. And they're number 1 there for me, Ij, simply because they have the best goaltender. Here we go. I tried to answer all the questions as I was going.
It's a new year, right? And we want to be kind, right? We want to start off, everybody's happy, all the best wishes and things like that.
Bring it.
But when I see a mess like that, I just have to say, the Pittsburgh Penguins, they just win and win and win and win. Since Crosby comes back, they've been lights out good. You got them, what do you have, 8th? 7th? I don't know how you have them below the Leafs. Now, Jackie is our resident Leafs watcher, and she just was telling me, Jackie, what were you just telling me about the Leafs?
I was just saying, not a great week for the Leafs. They blow the lead to Colorado. I say, okay, maybe you're still finding your legs. You haven't played very many games. Like, we'll write that one off, even though, it was 4-1. Can we stop?
Had the lead, yeah.
Then against Vegas, they get the win, but they blow the 3-1 lead in the third period. So it's a trend, right? Not a good one.
Jack Campbell saving the day.
Jack Campbell, these games, I don't even know what those two games look like with no Jack Campbell.
Exactly.
And then last night, full marks to the Arizona Coyotes goaltender. Full marks.
Yeah.
But they're still the Arizona Coyotes. The Leafs should probably
find a way to win.
I understand find a way to win. I understand the find a way to win, but I was watching that game, and Toronto had the puck.
I wouldn't have never known it by those picks.
Game.
Hang on,
and
though.
I will say,
did the Islanders not make an absolute living the last few years by letting teams have the puck? But how many quality chances? You tell me, because full transparency, I didn't watch the game front to back. I watched the condensed game, so you tell me.
Let me just say this one thing here, and this is going to sound like an excuse, and it probably is an excuse. I did make these rankings before that game last night, and I didn't want to change them because what appears on NHL.com should appear on NHL Network. I shouldn't change them. I don't change my rankings based on one game. The Toronto Maple Leafs with Jack Campbell have been a terrific team this year. Austin Matthews is scoring every game. And yes, next week, Pittsburgh might be ahead of them if they continue to roll. But I take the balance
since
of the
November
season.
18th.
They have not been rolling since November. Well, has it been around that long?
I gotta take back what I said about the Leafs. I'm gonna take it back. I got carried away because now I'm being told the Leafs from the slot 27-7 last night against the Coyotes. That's pretty good. That's pretty dominant.
Yeah. Melka, he's a problem.
Dominant.
Vamelka was excellent for the Coyotes.
Ruining the tank.
Yeah. Well, there you go. But, I think the Penguins could be higher. And, you know what? Listen, I don't want to get into the whole Tampa thing. That's a great team there. They've won 2 consecutive Stanley Cups. But when you look at it right now, Florida, they have a better goal differential. They have a better points percentage, and it's not like by 2%. It's pretty significant. I think it's hard to say the Florida Panthers aren't better than the Tampa Bay Lightning right now. That doesn't mean if they play in a playoff series that one team will win and one team will lose. I just think when you look at it, the Florida Panthers, I think you got to have them over the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the Carolina Hurricanes, unfortunately for them, they've been like MIA because everybody they try to play has COVID issues and they have to cancel the game. Yeah. But when you look at their numbers, they're lights out good too. So it's tough. There's a lot of good teams right now. And as I mentioned, the Penguins have been really the best team, I think, since Crosby came back, it seems like in mid-November. So it's not an easy list to make, Dan. I like to poke fun at you because I do.
We're in the entertainment business.
You're supposed to do it.
I've been doing it for 15 years, whatever it's been. So it's been fun.
Here, let me tell you, just regarding Tampa, it's institutional knowledge. That's what puts them, to me, in that top spot, and why I keep putting them there is what we know. It's what we've seen and what we know. And you mentioned, it doesn't mean if they play them in the playoff series, Florida's going to win. Some ways, in a way, what I do a lot with this Super 16, I think I've mentioned it to you before, is if it's so tight, I kind of analyze it of who would win a playoff series. Mm-hmm. And to me, Tampa wins the playoff series against the entire league right now because they have the best goaltender.
Okay, fair enough.
That's a bigger picture thing then.
Yes, and we've said this a million times, philosophy going into the power rankings. Right. But I do appreciate the back and forth because we work in sports, but we also work in television. Television is about entertainment. Yeah. But speaking of entertainment, the New York Rangers are an entertaining team to watch. A lot of high-end talent. Here's a look at their schedule. Last couple of weeks. Next up on the docket for them tonight, the San Jose Sharks, and I'm being told some news on the Rangers front. Here it is. Update. Igor Shesterkin has cleared COVID protocol, so Keith Kincaid assigned to the taxi squad. So good news there for the Rangers that Igor Shesterkin has been cleared, Dan.
Big time news for the Rangers. They're not 100. They haven't announced that he's going to start yet tonight. Chris Knobloch, who's their coach in Hartford, now the acting coach because Gerard Gallant's out in COVID protocol after the morning skate out there in San Jose, said he's going to talk to Gallant and they're going to figure it out. Igor Shesterkin has skated one time while in COVID protocol. He didn't really have a full practice, so you might want to try to get him that full practice if there is one. I don't know where they're going to get one, to be honest with you. So I think you just throw him in, but we'll see. But Alexander Georgiev, I think, deserves full marks for how he has played in the absence of Shesterkin. Remember, Igor missed 8 straight games with a lower body injury. Then he came back, played a few, and then went on the COVID list. Georgiev has started 10 of the last 15 games, and he is 5-4-1 with a .931 save percentage and a .206 goals against average in that time. Prior to that, he had an .858 save percentage and a .408 goals against average. So he has really stepped up his game in a big way, and that's allowed the Rangers to continue on here as one of the top teams in the Metro with some hiccups, obviously. But they've continued on without Shesterkin playing a lot in the last month. It's been mostly Georgiev.
Yeah, and because of what you just said, I would just play Georgiev tonight and let Igor kind of get everything going again in the right direction. So that's what I would do. We'll see what the Rangers decide to do. Let me ask you about Mika Zibanejad, because we've both gotten to watch him on the stage at Madison Square Garden over the last several years since coming over from Ottawa. He's been terrific, and he's hot again right now, rolling with the 8 goals and 12 points in this short span. What's going on with Zibanejad? What are you seeing from his game? Is it just business as usual?
I really do think that's what it is. He's got 8 goals in the last 9 games. He had 4 goals in the first 28 games. That was very unlike Mika Zibanejad, but it wasn't like he wasn't generating chances. Number one, Chris Kreider was red hot, right? So that was a big part of it too. Mika realizing that, and I talked to Mika about that when working on a story on last month, was just, hey, I got to get this guy the puck, and I got to work to get this guy the puck because he's red hot. Everything he touches is going in the net. And that might have taken away from some of Zibanejad's goal scoring. But now Mika's red hot again, and he's been a streaky scorer. I mean, this is just the way he is. Remember, before the pause in 2019-20, I mean, the guy was lights out. He was scoring every time he touched the puck, and that's the way he is. And the Rangers need his offense. They need the puck to go in the net off of his stick, because really what that does too, it opens up more for Kreider and even for Capo Caco on the even strength, and it opens up more for Panarin and guys like Fox and Strome and Kreider as well on the power play. So the puck going in for him is big time for the Rangers. He had a hat trick in that mix too, but a couple of games here where he's had an extra goal here and there, and I think that's really big. He's rolling, and the Rangers need to get rolling. They've had a West Coast trip, a lot of COVID stuff. Big game for them tonight, I think, to try to salvage this West Coast trip at 2-2.
Yeah, Dan, it feels like they're just kind of treading water right now, trying to find their feet again. And you cover the Rangers very closely, so I'm curious. I always want to get a check-in on seeing how's Kakko and Lafreniere coming along. They've both had moments. They've both been in the top 6, both been out of the top 6. A lot of us thought that they would take big steps this year to becoming elite producers. Hasn't really been the case. How are they playing lately, and where are they in becoming the players the Rangers want them to be?
Yeah, I think Kakko's been hot and cold, but he's been playing mostly in the top 6 with, first he was on the Panarin Strome line, and now he's been for a while now with Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider, and he's fit in, he's generating, he's getting chances. The puck isn't always going in, he's not generating a ton of points, but I do like his game and the way it has been trending all year. For me, Lafreniere has dipped and gone up and down and up and down, and part of that was he was playing in a third-line role, and the other thing, too, is both of these guys, the Rangers' first power play unit stays on the ice for about 90 seconds. So they're not getting a lot of power play time. Even if they're both on the second unit, they're getting 20 to 30 seconds maybe per power play. It's not enough time to generate. And it's usually as they're changing, trying to come up the ice, so they're not even established in the zone. So it's really, you maybe get 10 seconds in the zone on the power play, and that hurts their offensive production. Lafreniere now, they finally have done it, where they've moved him to the right wing to play with Panarin and Strome. And they haven't wanted to do that. They've wanted to keep him on the left side, but I think you have to do this. I think you got to see if the guy can do it just leading into the trade deadline, because you got to figure out if you need a top 6 right wing or if Alexis Lafreniere can handle it. They haven't wanted to move him because it's on his offside, but I think he can be a strong player on his offside, especially with, being able to get a one-timer off and a better look at a pass too.
All right, the Rangers taking on the Sharks tonight, 10:30 Eastern time. Thanks for this, D-Rose. We appreciate you.
Hey, hold on. Hold on.
I'm holding.
What's going on with that? What's going on with that trophy on your desk? What is that, a bowling trophy? What's going on?
It's my grandfather's bowling trophy. Yeah, my grandfather's bowling trophy.
Oh,
I've had that
nice.
there for the whole time. Is this the first time you noticed it?
I've noticed it
I've not
before,
seen
but
it.
I just wanted to bring it up today. That's very
No,
nice.
it's been there the whole time. Yeah, it's my grandfather's bowling trophy. Apparently, he bowled a. It's only a 203, so maybe he could have done better. I got to find a better trophy.
Boy, he throws his grandfather right under the bus. Boy,
I don't even know how to react to that.
Yeah.
But
He's come with a perfect game.
Yeah, I thought so too. But
you should have just lied to us.
I know. We can't see it.
Oh, it's a perfect game.
Checking your grandfather's bowling trophy from however many years ago.
Look, he had a 500 game.
It would be bigger. Yeah, it would be bigger.
All right. Well, listen, Utah. Yeah, okay. Enjoy the game tonight, D-Rose. I try to save time. We go off the rails. Gotta love Dan Rose. And by the way, congratulations to Braden Schneider, going to make his NHL debut tonight with the Rangers. Coming up on the other side, happy birthday, Connor McDavid.